YouTube, what it do? It's your boy TWV checking in for the NXT weekly review. Today's episode of NXT was an amazing episode, showcasing 13 women across several matches and segments. NXT is the home for women's wrestling. NXT's women's division is one of the deepest women's divisions, with more wrestlers getting added all the time. Overall, today was a great episode, so let's get into the review. Obafemi kicked off the show speaking about what happened at NXT Vengeance Day when the mystery attackers ambushed him after his NXT championship match. Obafemi went on to say that they didn't finish the job because he's still standing and they're in for a rude awakening. While in the middle of his promo, the arena went black and Moose from TNA appeared, speaking about how this confrontation needed to happen and how he basically wanted to face Obafemi in a match. So overall, the first part of the promo I loved. I'm a big Obafemi fan. The second half of the promo stunk because I'm not a fan of Moose. Didn't really watch none of his work in TNA. Don't really care for it. That's kind of how I feel. The first in-ring action of the night was a women's North American #1 contenders match with Jaida Parker, Kelani, Jordynne, and Karmen Petrovic all facing off in a triple threat match. The match was really fun, high paced with high stakes. I definitely enjoyed it thoroughly. Jaida Parker is one of my favorite wrestlers in NXT in the women's division. I do like Kelani Jordynne as well. She has like a Rob Van Dam high flyer-esque style I really get behind. And Karmen Petrovic is just really a really interesting character. I like her character work. I like what she's been doing with Ashanti the Adonis in the past couple months. Definitely cool character work that I can get behind and I thoroughly enjoy. Karmen Petrovic ended up stealing the match after Jaida Parker did her signature in the corner on both of them, but Ashanti the Adonis had pulled her out to the ring before that and then threw her back into the ring once she was kind of showboating, and she stole the pin and won the match. And then after the match, Kelani Jordynne and Jaida Parker got into it, showing that Kelani Jordynne is more so turning heel. It's a slow burn. I can get behind it. She's been facing since she came to the main roster, and after she lost her championship, she is 1-7 now in matches. So just going on the losing streak, getting that edge to her. Definitely could see her being a good heel. She was a great face. Jaida Parker as well. Like, I know that'll be a great rivalry that they'll probably build to Stand and Deliver. I think it can go that long. They're both two great characters on the mic, so I definitely think that they can have some good promos and interactions and just run-ins on each other and each other's matches. So I see that being a match at Stand and Deliver for sure. After the match, Karmen Petrovic got beat up by Fatal Influence. I only like Fallon Henley and Fatal Influence. I don't like the other two in the group. They're kind of bland in my opinion. But after that beatdown, Stephanie Vaquer ran out to kind of even the odds, and then the trio beat up both of them. And then Giulia ran out, and Giulia assisted, and then it even the odds slightly, and then the odds were still against them. And then Jordynne Grace ran out for her first time being on an NXT live show, got on the mic and basically said, "It looks like y'all want to fight, so we're going to give you a fight tonight." So it ended up being a 6 women's tag match in the main event, and we'll get back to that later. The next match was Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson versus Zaria and Sol Ruca. It was a fun tag team match. Lash Legend is also one of my favorite wrestlers in the women's division, such as Jakara Jackson. Sol Ruca has such a varying and interesting offense. I love watching any of her matches because you never know what she's going to do new. Like in the middle of the match, she did like a handspring into a pin, which I've never seen before. Like, it was definitely different and innovative. Zaria is just a powerhouse. Her and Lash Legend, when they tagged in, had a couple great interactions, just showing both their strength and athletic ability against each other. At the end, Zaria speared Jakara Jackson and then tagged in Sol Ruca, and Sol Ruca finished the match off for her Soul Snatcher finisher, and they end up winning the match. Great match, great pacing. All 4 women definitely did a beautiful job. Like I said, NXT has the deepest women's division, and that was showcased tonight, like with so many women being spread across the show. Overall, it was 13 women, and we're still not done showcasing women, so we'll get back to that in the next segments. The next segment was the Ricky Starks NXT contract signing. The segment began with Starks preparing to sign his contract, expressing his intent to elevate NXT to new heights, and while doing so, capturing the NXT championship. While Starks was speaking, Ethan Page interrupted, expressing surprise at Starks signing and suggests that his first match should be for a title. Starks responded by challenging Page, but before they could continue, Javon Evans appeared, attacking Page and initiating a brawl that spilled out into the crowd. As the chaos subsided, Wesley entered, confronting Starks about his earlier disrespect. Starks' challenge led to a match which was agreed upon for the following week. This segment concluded with Starks signing the contract, revealing his new name, Ricky Saints. So Ricky Starks was one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW just because of his character and charisma and his amazing promo work. So I'm not mad that he had to do the name change. And he's from New Orleans, so Ricky Saints is pretty smooth. Of course, just like with any wrestler coming in from AEW or from another company, when they get their names changed slightly, it does take maybe a month, 2 months to get used to it. Then after that, it's common nature. So for now, I'm gonna call him Ricky Starks. In the future, it'll be Ricky Saints. But hey, my guys in NXT, and it's about to be crazy. It was a backstage segment with Fraxium speaking about the mystery attackers and trying to figure out who they were. They were interrupted by No Quarter Catch Crew, saying that they wanted to face the best tag team in the world, and Fraxium thought they were speaking about them, but they actually were like, no, we want to face Matt and Jeff Hardy for the TNA Tag Team Champions. NXT has a partnership with TNA. I did not say that at the beginning, but they have different superstars showing up every week. Like last week was Fandango. He goes by a different name in TNA. I do not know because I don't really follow TNA. Moose showed up tonight earlier in the first segment. Matt and Jeff Hardy will be wrestling the No Quarter Catch Crew next week for the TNA Tag Team Champions. So it's definitely going to be a wild couple weeks. In my personal opinion, Matt and Jeff Hardy are arguably the greatest tag team of all time. If I just wanted to do a quick all-time ranking of tag teams, I gotta go Matt and Jeff Hardy, Edge and Christian, Jimmy and Jada Usos, and then the New Day, and then we kind of I probably would throw Rated RKO in there. Rated RKO was very underrated for the time and in their era. I was a big fan of them as a kid growing up. Randy Orton and Edge, just two shitty heels that you despise so much, but they were so cool. Like as a kid, I just thought they were the coolest. So yeah, that would be like my all-time tag team ranking. Like I said, wrestling is subjective, rankings are subjective. These are my personal opinions, but that's what I think. Next match was Shawn Spears facing Stacks from the D'Angelo family in a highly anticipated match. The bout commenced with both competitors exchanging strikes, with Spears delivering a powerful neck breaker to gain the upper hand. Stacks retaliated with a cold breaker from the apron, followed by a missile dropkick, showcasing his resilience. However, Spears countered with the knee strike and executed a C4 to secure the victory. So, Shawn Spears is a really great wrestler. He's been around. He was in WWE at first. He was in AEW. He did some of his best work when he was the chairman in MJF's group called The Pinnacle. After that, he kind of got injured and kind of went away from TV while he was in AEW. Same thing with this NXT run. He came back. He got injured, so he kind of got sidelined. Now he's back getting his groove. And definitely a big Shawn Spears guy. Definitely feel like he's one of those older veteran wrestlers that would really be great for NXT. He does not need to go to the main roster, in my opinion, because if he goes to the main roster, he won't do anything again, because there's just so much talent on the WWE men's main roster. But definitely one of those people that can teach the younger generation of superstars and build them up into great characters. So I'm definitely liking where Shawn Spears is at now in his career. And Stacks is definitely going to get this breakout moment now because Tony D is, I guess, written off of TV for a while, maybe like a month and a half. I do see him coming back before Stand and Deliver. So I just want to see where that feud goes. I feel like it'll be him and Shawn Spears in a match for Stand and Deliver, because Shawn Spears will probably run through the other members of the D'Angelo family, and then that will cause Tony D to have to come back. He'll restore the order for the D'Angelo family. The next match was Andre Chase versus Eddie Thorpe. This match started because of two former Chase University students telling Andre Chase that Eddie Thorpe disrespected the university, even though the university isn't a thing anymore. Chase U is definitely like a random cool little group faction. It elevated a lot of wrestlers into singles wrestlers, which is really cool. Andre Chase is a really great wrestler. Definitely think that he should get more of a shine. He does some great character work, like the post Chase U University getting expunged, terminated. This was like last year. I can't really remember what happened per se, but I know that basically Chase U got shut down and he been on like a downward spiral. But it was a really good match overall. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe is just meh. He's cool. Like, not gonna call him mid. Because somebody out here in the world is an Eddie Thorpe fan, so I'm not gonna call him mid. I would never disrespect him like that. But to me personally, he's kind of cool. So the funniest part of the match was when commentary was calling Andre Chase's Jordan's fake. He had on some Raptor 4s. I'm a sneakerhead, so I thought that was pretty funny because it's like, yo, his kicks aren't fake. They was calling them Team Jordans and all types of things. But it was pretty funny. Booker T is pretty hilarious on commentary, so that was definitely a highlight of the match. Eddie Thorpe won the match with his running knee strike. After that, it was a promo segment with Trick Williams popping up on screen saying that he's not done with Eddie Thorpe, and if he's going down, he's bringing Eddie Thorpe down with him. So, unfortunately, like I said in the Vengeance Day review at the end of the vlog, I really wish they didn't drag this feud out, but I guess they are. So, hopefully, like I said in that video, they're dragging it to Roadblock in March, and that's it. I do not want to see this as Stand and Deliver. I do not care to see it as Stand and Deliver. I feel like Trick Williams needs something else to do than face Eddie Thorpe, but I see where they're going. They're trying to give Eddie Thorpe that main eventer rub / push, and I'm gonna be optimistic. Maybe he can change my mind. Maybe if he has better matches, like his matches are kind of weak in my opinion. But we'll see where this goes from there. It was a Ricky Saints backstage segment. He was talking to Ava just about how crazy NXT has been so far, how everybody's so angry. And while he was talking to Ava, Ethan Page interrupts, telling him that he wants to match with him. And while they were talking to each other, then Wesley shows up and says that he wants to have a match with him. And at that moment, it's 2 people versus 1. So obviously you can't have that match. So Javon Evans appears, ready to fight Ethan Page again. So Ava makes it a tag team match for next week. So it's going to be Ethan Page and Wesley versus Javon Evans and Ricky Saints. And Ricky Saints' debut match on NXT television. Can't wait for it. Ricky Starks / Saints is such an amazing wrestler. If you haven't seen, he had a great match with Bryan Danielson, formerly known as Daniel Bryan in WWE. He's had great matches with CM Punk while he was in AEW. He had one with Jay Lethal. He had great tag matches. Man, I'm a Ricky Saints fan. Like I can go talk about Ricky Starks Saints at least for 20-30 minutes. He had one promo when Edge just came to WWE, not WWE, AEW, and man, he cooked Edge. He cooked him. Like his in-ring, his mic work is insane. Like he's definitely going to elevate NXT to another level. They definitely needed a superstar in the men's division. Because Trick Williams is a superstar, but he has to work on the in-ring side. Obafemi is a superstar, but we needed a top tier superstar, like the total package. Like he has the look, he has the character, he has the charisma, he has the in-ring skill. Like the 2 superstars I just named, Trick Williams and Obafemi, they're missing one piece of that. But Ricky Starks / Saints, total package. So you can push him to the moon and elevate NXT. And then after that, we just, that makes the men in the division want to step up. Like, hey, I want to be a main eventer. Hey, I want to take the title off of Obafemi at the moment. Trick Williams in the future if he gets it again. Ricky Saints if he gets it. Ethan Page. Like, this is just heating up the men's division. And I'm really behind it because NXT, like I said before in previous videos, NXT has the best brand for storylines and character work, in my personal opinion. The main roster is really good as well, but just on a week-to-week basis with the consistency, NXT is very consistent week to week. Like, even if a superstar is not in a match and they're in a storyline, there's a segment. So the story, you're always in the loop of the storyline, and you're not like, okay, where did he go for a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Like, and now on the main roster, sometimes the bloodline storylines happen like that. Like somebody will be off of the air for like a week or 2, and now it's like, okay, it's a 2-week gap in the storyline. Did I miss something or did I not miss something? Things like that. Event of NXT was the 6 women's tag team match, which featured NXT Women's Champion Giulia, NXT Women's North American Champion Stephanie Vaquer, and Jordynne Grace against a trio known as Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix. Early in the match, Fatal Influence dominated, asserting control, isolating Giulia in the corner, and executing quick tags to maintain their pressure. During the middle of the match, the tide turned and the momentum shifted when Stephanie Vaquer tagged in, delivering a series of impactful moves that allowed her team to gain control. After Stephanie Vaquer, Jordynne Grace's impact showed immediately. Jordynne Grace entered the match, showcasing her strength and agility. She executed a powerful back fist and a pump handle slam, significantly weakening Jasmine Nix. It was a climactic finish with the match concluded with Jordynne Grace performing the Here It Is driver on Jasmine Nix, securing the pinfall victory. This victory not only showcased the cohesion and strength of Giulia, Vaquer, and Grace, but also set the stage for future rivalries and title defenses within the NXT's women's division. And like I said, NXT has the deepest women's division. As you can tell, I brought up 13 different superstars basically the entire night. So it was definitely a great show, definitely a great showcase of women's wrestling. Women's wrestling has come so far, and I'm such a fan of it. Like, women's wrestling has been amazing in the last 7-8 years, but in the last 4, it's like got took it to another level, especially with the NXT women. Like, NXT, like I said, has the deepest women's division in wrestling. Like, like I said in the previous video, I want them to get more integrated with the main roster. Like, sometimes you don't have to call somebody up, but hey, give them a feud against a main event player on the main roster, like how Bayley came down to NXT for her feud with Roxanne. Have a Bianca Belair come down and have a one-off with somebody. I would say Lash Legend. That would be an amazing match. You can have Naomi come down and feud with somebody. You can have Rhea Ripley come down and feud with any other, Jordynne Grace, Zaria. Man, there's so many names I could think of, but it was I would just like a more integration of the women overall between SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. I feel like you can get away with it. The men's side, not so much, because it's like some of the main event, like Cody Rhodes is not coming down to NXT to wrestle somebody. Randy Orton did it for Javon Evans because Javon Evans is the next superstar in WWE, but I can see Sheamus doing it. Somebody like AJ Styles will do it, but you're not getting a Roman Reigns coming down to NXT. John Cena would come show up to speak probably, but not to have a match. But yeah, the women's division could get integrated between all 3 brands, and I feel like that would be something pretty cool. With that being said, this is another episode of the NXT Recap with your boy TWV. Like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I appreciate the love and support so far, and I'll catch you in the next one.